David's doctor told him everything looked great. Cholesterol fine, glucose normal, but he was crashing every afternoon, gaining belly fat and feeling worse. The truth? His body was in metabolic crisis, and one simple test revealed it. What was it? Stick around. Hi everyone, my name is Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach. This is part of my question and answer series, and it's titled My Doctor Said I Was Fine Until This Test Changed Everything. Okay, let's get to the question. You mentioned patients being moved more by stories than statistics. Can you walk me through one specific patient case where their fasting insulin numbers told a completely different story than their normal cholesterol panel? And what happened when he addressed the insulin first? Yeah, it's a great question, okay? And in this case is one of the most instructive and memorable cases available to us that demonstrates why fasting insulin often tells a story cholesterol patients completely miss. Okay, so David here is the patient. He's a 47-year-old executive. His goal was to lose 20 to 25 pounds and reduce the blood pressure without meds. His diet was mostly low-fat, high-fiber, some whole grains, occasional cheat meals on weekends, like most people. When his doctor just did his standard labs from his annual physical, his total cholesterol was 189, his LDL-C was 102, HDL was 54, triglycerides were 119, fasting glucose was 94, and his HbA1c was 5.6. Doctor's verdict, hey, everything looks good, and on the surface those look very good. Just lose a little weight and keep an eye on your blood pressure. But let's look at his symptoms again. Did the symptoms match the story? David still struggled with afternoon crashes and brain fog, stubborn belly fat despite tracking calories, cravings late at night, blood pressure hovering around 138/88, and frustration that I'm doing everything right, why do I feel worse? Okay? So, and by the way, all of those are signals of a metabolic dysfunction, right? So that's when I asked him to get a fasting insulin test. Okay? And this was interesting. When the fasting insulin test was brought in, his fasting insulin was at 19. Now, the ideal range for fasting insulin should be about 8, less than 8. Optimal around 2 to 5. 19 is way high. So David's level was 3 to 4 times higher than healthy, even though his cholesterol panel looked fine. In other words, he was deeply insulin resistant years before his glucose or HbA1c would reflect it. So what did we do? The intervention is address insulin first. We had David pivot from eating less and moving more to a metabolic first approach. First thing, drop the carbs from 225 grams a day to 50 to 75 using a low carb Mediterranean template. He wasn't ready to go carnivore or ketogenic yet. Probably didn't need to. He added some time restricted eating, right? 14:10 at first and then 16:8. That's 14 hours fasting, 10 hours eating, and then he shifted it to 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating, which is what most people do when they're doing time restricted eating. This was big. Swapped out all the seed oils for beef tallow, olive oil, and butter. Okay? No more seed oils. No snacking, even if supposedly healthy. No fruits, no nuts, no of the protein bars in the middle of the day, right? Those are all just absolutely terrible for you. And he started walking instead of working out heavily. He started walking after dinner just to reduce his insulin sensitivity. The whole plan was framed as, let's turn off the insulin fire so your body can finally access the stored fat it's trying to burn. In 90 days, his fasting insulin dropped from 19 to to 7.4. That's really great. That's within the healthy range. I'd like it a little bit lower, but 7.4 is great. Triglycerides dropped from 119 to 62. His HDL went from 54 to 67, so it went up. That's great. His blood pressure normalized to 118 over 76. That's absolutely perfect. And he lost 21 pounds all around his midsection in 90 days. His energy, he said he didn't crash after lunch anymore. And for the first time in 10 years, he's not hungry all the time. And that's the biggest thing. If you get away from the standard American diet and start eating more fat and reduce the carbs, you don't feel hungry anymore. Most strikingly, his next visit with his primary care doctor. Wow, what are you doing? The doctor asked for a consult. He wanted to know what was going on because David, he had so many other patients that just couldn't do it. David just did. Okay? So here's your takeaway. David's case is the perfect example of metabolic dysfunction hiding in plain sight. Normal glucose, normal cholesterol, but insulin was screaming for help. If we had waited for his glucose to hit 105 or his HbA1c to creep over 5.7, he'd be pre-diabetic with 10 to 15 more pounds to lose than he already had and on the edge of lifelong medication, at least from his doctor. Instead, we got ahead of the curve because we tested what actually breaks first. We went for the metabolic stuff, right? All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it very much. If you have any questions or comments, do drop them in the appropriate section. And if you have anything you want me to cover, this is a community. I'm here to answer your questions and to provide you with the information you want. And as always, if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, share this video with someone who might need it. Thank you very much.